We all think we have a pretty good idea of what makes a romantic partner happy. But what if the most common gestures completely miss the point? Today, we're going to talk about a gift that costs absolutely nothing, but honestly, it's worth everything. So, let's dive in.
Okay, so when you think about showing someone you really truly care, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Come on, be honest. For a lot of us, it's probably something you can put a bow on, right? Like maybe it's that big, flashy designer bag, something that kind of screams, hey, look what I spent on you. Or hey, what about the classic, a gorgeous bouquet of flowers? I mean, it's a go-to for a reason, right? Or even just a little surprise present, something totally unexpected just to brighten up her day. And look, these are all perfectly normal ways we show affection. But what if they're all missing the one thing that actually matters most? And this is where we get to the real heart of it. Now, don't get me wrong, gifts aren't bad. A thoughtful gift at just the right moment, that can be amazing. But there's something so much more powerful, and that's attention. It's personal, it's emotional, and it feels way more real. Let's really break down why that is. All right, so first up, we've got to get our heads around this huge difference between just impressing someone and actually truly connecting with them. Because trust me, they are not the same thing, not even close. So let's just look at this side by side. A gift? Sure, it'll probably get you a smile, maybe a little thrill for a moment. But attention? Attention makes a person feel seen, like truly seen for who they are. And think about it. Anybody with a credit card can buy a present. But giving that consistent care, remembering the tiny little details, that takes genuine effort. One says, I can afford this. The other says, I care about you. And that connection, that's the stuff that actually builds something that's going to last. And that brings us to our next big idea. I want you to start thinking about attention a little differently, not just as something you do, but as a kind of currency. And honestly, it might be the most valuable currency we've got. I mean, think about it. In this crazy, distracted world we live in, your undivided time and your focus, they're not unlimited. They're precious, finite resources. You've got a million things, notifications, emails, you name it, all fighting for a piece of it every single second. So when you make the choice to spend that limited resource on her, when you actually put your phone down and just listen, you're sending an incredibly powerful message. It tells her that she's not just another item on your to-do list, not just an option. It tells her she's a priority. And here's the thing you just can't forget. That feeling, the feeling of being chosen, of being a real priority, you can't put a price tag on that. No amount of money can buy it. And that feeling is what builds real security and value in a relationship. Okay, so this feeling of being a priority, it leads us directly to one of the absolute cornerstones of any strong relationship, and that's emotional safety. So what is emotional safety? Well, it's the bedrock. It's that space where someone feels like they can be 100% themselves, completely vulnerable. They can share their fears, their wild dreams, all their messy thoughts, and they know they won't be judged. And you just don't build that with gifts. You build it with consistent, focused attention. Let me put it this way. A gift without any real presence behind it, sometimes it can feel like a substitute or even an apology. It can have this unspoken message that sounds a lot like this, which feels way more like a business deal than an act of love, right? Being hot one day and cold the next. That kind of inconsistency is absolute poison for emotional safety. It just creates anxiety and a ton of confusion. So what's the antidote? What actually builds that trust back up? It's consistent attention. It's an honest emotional presence. It's knowing that you are a reliable, steady source of support, not just a provider of random flashy gifts. So let's talk about the long game. When you look back years from now on your life and your relationships, what are the things that are really going to stick with you? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not the objects. It's these small, seemingly tiny moments. That simple text asking, did you get home safe? Remembering her favorite coffee order, asking about her stressful day, and, this is the key, actually wanting to hear the answer. These are the little threads that weave together to create the real fabric of a shared life. These become the memories you hold onto. Because, let's face it, gifts fade, flowers wilt, and eventually all those objects just lose their shine and become, well, just stuff. But that memory, the memory of feeling truly seen and cared for, that lasts forever. The feeling that you matter to someone. That doesn't fade. That is the real legacy of a relationship built on genuine attention.
So when you strip everything else away, what are we really talking about? What's the fundamental desire at the heart of all of this? It's not about what you can buy. It's about how you connect.
Really, what she truly wants boils down to this: to be understood, to be noticed, to feel that emotional connection. That's it. And giving your attention is the most direct way to give her all three of those things. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. The next time you want to show someone you care, are you going to spend your money or are you going to spend your attention? Because that's the real choice here. It's not about never buying a gift again. It's about understanding that the greatest gift you can possibly give someone is the one thing you can never, ever get back: your time and your focus.